warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present my presentation about course planning and syllabus design. Okay, let's start. This is the file. Okay, course planning and syllabus design by me, Arif Alexander Bastian. First, a number of different levels of planning and development are involved in developing in a course or set instructional materials based on the aims and objectives that have established for a language program. This presentation will examine the following dimensions. Only 5. They are developing course rationale, describing entry and exit level, choosing course content, determining the scope and sequence, planning and the course structure, or we can say syllabus. Next, developing a course rationale. The course rationale seeks to answer following question: who is the course for? What is the course about? And what kind of teaching and learning will take place in the course? The course rationale answers this question by describing the beliefs, values, and goals. Developing a rationale also have provide focus and direction to some deliberation involved in course planning. The rationale does serve as the purpose of guiding the planning of the various components of course, comprising the kinds of teaching and learning course should exemplify, providing a check consistency of the various course components in terms and course value and goals by Posner and Rudnitsky 1986. Next, describing entry and exit level. In order to plan a language course, it's necessary to know the level at which program will start and the learners may be expected to reach the end of the course. So before we make a language course or plan, we have to make the program or I think it is the test. Information may be available on student entry level from their results on international proficiency tests such as TOEFL or IELTS, or special design tests may be needed to determine the level of student language skill. Information from proficiency tests will be enable target level from program to be assessed and may require adjustment of the program objective if they appear to aim too high or too low level. Jadi sebelum buat plan ini bisa kita tes dengan tes proficiency atau proficiency test sehingga kita bisa tahu level yang mana dia akan masuk. Seperti yang ya saya dengar kursus Kak Gilang juga membuat seperti ini. Jadi sebelum muridnya masuk itu nggak langsung masuk kelas mana gitu. Jadi yang menentukan itu hanya ada tes sebelumnya. Jadi murid pun tahu mereka ada di level yang mana, sehingga di sana akan terdapat atau terjadi masuknya jadi kayak ada penambahan ilmu ketika mereka tahu berada di level yang ini, berarti mereka belum dapat yang ini seperti itu. Next, choosing course content. Decision about the course content reflect nature of language use and language learning. What the most essential elements or units of language are and how this can be organized as an efficient basis for second language learning. Example, writing course could potentially be played around following types of content. First, grammar, using sentence, function, describing list like topic, skill, developing topic. Second, process, using pre-writing and text writing business letter. The choice of particular approach to content will depend on subject matter knowledge, the learner's proficiency level, current phase on second language learning and teaching, and confidence gathered during the needs analysis contribute planning course content. As do additional aids from the classroom resource, review of test exam in the area, analysis of student problem, consultation with the teacher familiar with the topic. Raw initial ideas are not done as a basis for refining and brainstorming. Developing initial ideas for course content often take place simultaneously with syllabus planning. because the content of a course will often depend on the type syllabus framework that will be used in the basis of the course. Jadi selain konten-konten ini kita gunain, misalnya menulis writing course itu pasti grammar, fungsinya, topik, skillnya apa aja. Dalam prosesnya pun ada using pre-writing biasanya, and teksnya itu apa. Nah ini skillnya itu bisa developing topic sentence. Tapi selain ini, beside that, developing initial idea sebenarnya with syllabus planning. Jadi selain kita ini, kita harus melihat juga tentang syllabus framework apa yang dipakai pada saat membuat course tersebut. Next, determining the scope and sequence. This is known as planning the scope and sequence of the course. Scope is concerned with the breadth and the coverage of item in the course. The sequencing of content in the course also needs to be determined. This involves defining which content is needed early in the course and which provide the basis for things that will be learned later. So their sequencing may be based on the following criteria. First, simple to complex. One of the commonest way to sequencing method is by difficulty level. Content presented earlier is to be simple than later item. Jadi harus dari simple to complex. Jangan, karena suatu one course juga atau kontennya itu dimulai biasanya dari yang mudah, yang untuk dipelajari, lalu balik lagi ke yang lebih sulit gitu, simple to complex. And chronological content may be sequenced according to the order which even occur in the real world. Example in writing goals. First, there are brainstorming, drafting, revising, and editing. So they are a chronological process or statement. Jadi ada kronologinya. And then need content may be sequenced according to when learners are most likely to need outside the classroom. And then for square learning, the sequence content may effect of what is necessary for an exponential learning process and whole to part or part whole. In some cases, material at the beginning of course may focus the overall structure or organization topic before considering the individual component that make it up. Alternatively, the course may focus on practicing parts before the whole. And then spiral sequencing, this approach involves the recycling of the item to ensure learners have repeated opportunities to learn them. Nah, that's planning the course structure, or we can say syllabus. Yeah, and then planning the course structure syllabus. Planning the course structure. Jadi ini strukturnya itu biasanya kita selecting a syllabus framework. A syllabus describes a major element that will be used in planning language course and provides the basis for its instructional focus and content. Example in planning a course on speaking skill. Based on the course content discussed earlier in the section describing entry and exit level, number options are available. The syllabus could be situational, organized around different situations and the oral skill needed in the situation. Topical, organized around different topic and how to talk them in English. And then the functional, organized around the function most ever needed in speaking. And then task-based, organized around different tasks and activities that would be carried out in English. Jadi seperti yang kita pelajari pada Bu EN juga waktu itu tentang silabus, untuk membuat course planning atau planning the course structure ya harus biasanya memilih silabus. Nah, silabus yang kita pilih itu jangan hanya terpatok. Maksudnya jangan hanya fokus satu silabus gitu. Nah, jadi di sini misalnya di kelas speaking ini kita bisa pilih itu tentang ada situasional, sesuai topik, fungsinya, dan ada pun diberi tugas oleh murid-murid itu, the students. Jadi satu fokus ini misalnya on the speaking skill, course on speaking skill itu bisa masukin di silabus situasional, topical, functional, and their task based. Jadi komplit gitu. Jadi jangan hanya terpaksa speaking yang ngomong aja gitu, enggak maksudnya speaking situasional aja enggak. Jadi tapi bisa harus dikasih task based juga, terus sesuai topiknya apa, terus fungsinya apa. Jadi campuran apa make the syllabus complex. And then in choosing a particular syllabus framework, of course trainers are influenced by the following factor. Nah, ini faktor-faktor yang bisa menginfluence para planners biasanya. First, knowledge and belief about the subject area. A syllabus reflects ideas and belief about the nature of speaking, reading, writing, or listening. Research and theory, biasanya berdasarkan research on language use and learning as well as bad English theory sometimes lead to proposal in favor of particular syllabus type. Biasanya juga dapat mereka itu dari research dan teori-teori. Dan ini next, the third common practice, the language teaching profession has built up considerable practical experience in developing language program, and this often serves as the basis for a different syllabus type. And then the last is trends, approaches to syllabus is come and go flexible. So ini biasanya kita liatin tren, misalnya di luar negeri lagi tren syllabus pakai apa, kita ikutin. Biasanya planners tuh kayak gitu, ngeliatin apa yang tren. Next, okay, I think that's all. For your information, I got the material from the Jack Richard about the curriculum development in language teaching first edition. For ada yang belum saya pelajari, tapi di sini lengkap banget. Contohnya seperti bermacam-macam silabus ya, kita ketahui silabus ada yang situational, notional, lexical, itu ada semua di dalam sini. I hope you get this book. This is complete for the planners, also all the teacher who makes the syllabus. I think it is a very good books. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much. If you have any comment or suggestion for me, I hope you can make the comment beside under di bawah ini. Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon and keep healthy and clean your hands. Okay, I think that's all. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.